Welcome to My Time to Shine. I'm your host, Emily. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. Busy. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Just had a nice fresh coffee, so I can't complain. Love good coffee.
Yeah, I literally just had like a quick bone broth shake
Oh,
before I jumped on.
delicious. You are prepared. So I'll start. So if you could start by telling us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Right, yeah. So I'm Suman. I am the owner of the Natural Supermarket. We're an online store specialising in toxin-free products, from skincare to supplements, healthy snacks, 100% fruit juices. We're trying to basically hit every single section on the market.
Wow.
Um, yeah, so I am actually an accountant by trade, and I was made redundant last year. And this has kind of been more of a passion project, which now I'm basically turning into a career.
Oh, wow. Incredible. So you were a full-time accountant and then all of a sudden redundancy came and this inspired your idea for this shop then.
Yeah. So I was an accountant. To be really honest, I kind of fell into it, and then basically there was like my daughter suffered from eczema a few years ago. My best friend suffered from topical steroid withdrawal symptoms.
Gosh.
So essentially, I didn't really want to go down the steroid and medical route when it came to my daughter's eczema because I kind of knew like what the aftermath could be like in a few years' time. So I started looking at what she's allergic to, what skincare we're using. I started looking at all the ingredients just to try and pinpoint what it might be that's triggering it. And then I realised that actually everything we are consuming has so many different ingredients, it's actually really difficult to pinpoint it. So then we changed our washing detergent because I didn't realise how many like chemicals were in that, even non-bio.
God.
Like our skincare changed our diet, started looking at literally became like a cereal label checker essentially. Like literally, I was a bit like, to be honest, I was a bit crazy. Probably a little bit set too far, like I needed to chill out a little bit.
Calm down, girl.
Yeah, basically. And I realised that there was a point where I was going one place to get bone broth, I was going to another place, ordering on another place to get my daughter's beef tallow, and then ordering from somewhere else to get collagen. And it was actually quite frustrating for me as a consumer where I had to basically go either online or in a store and literally spent ages researching and checking the labels because I didn't trust what the stores were selling, because although they had some really great products, they also had products that were filled with loads of rubbish like gums
Yeah.
and fillers, etc. So I had to try and filter it out manually myself. So when
Gosh.
I got made redundant, that was actually like passionate. I was passionate about that anyway.
Yeah.
I genuinely wanted to spend more time with my kids. But as an accountant, most jobs aren't actually that flexible. You have to go to the office for normally about 3 times a week. There's long hours and stuff like that. So I didn't really want to go into accounting. I thought this is my chance to actually just do something that I really want to do. And I actually thought, well, why not create a store which I would love, that you don't have to spend hours trying to filter through all of the great products, when you just go there and you know that everything is great.
That's
Yeah, so
it.
that was the idea behind the store, and literally the next day I think I just started working on it.
Wow, that quick. Goodness
Yeah,
me.
because obviously I was being made redundant. There would be a period of time where I would have no job. So in the
Yeah.
evenings, after I'd log off from work and things like that, when the kids went to bed, I would like start brainstorming, trying to like get ideas together, how to. I'd never been in like retail before, so like how to create a website, even where do I get my products from, how to even set up your own domain, like bits and
Yeah.
pieces like that. Like it sounds really crazy, but to me it was relatively new.
Yeah. It's really
Yeah.
tricky to know all. If you don't know, then you don't know, do you?
Yeah,
You don't know what you
exactly.
don't know.
Yes. Where would I hold my stock? Where would I do this? So literally, I just started brainstorming from the next day. I ran it past my husband and like a few friends and a few people that I knew, just to make sure that I wasn't like taking my passion too far. And yeah, like, and people thought it was a great idea, so I thought, why not?
That's it. So everyone was supportive, your husband was supportive, and they were like,
Yeah,
go for
yeah,
it.
yeah, very supportive, to be really honest.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I couldn't complain at all. Literally, yeah, my mum was a bit taken back. To be honest, she was the only person that was a bit dubious. But other than that, yeah, my husband was well up for it.
What were some of the biggest challenges that you faced when you sort of first started?
Well, for me, one of the biggest things was tech. I'm not a
Yeah.
tech person. I'm not an IT person. I don't know what I'm doing. I've had to employ a few freelancers just to help me along the way. My website was shut down a month into running in because it broke some like licensing terms
Oh
and
no.
conditions.
Oh.
I was absolutely horrified. The person that set up my Shopify theme wasn't getting back to me because he's in another country and there was time zone differences. Um, but that also taught me a lot. That taught me how to create my own theme and how to upload all of the products myself and all of that sort of stuff. So that did, although it was a challenge at the time,
Yeah.
I had to learn from it because I couldn't rely on other people to do this for me if it ever happened now, where I'm much busier. Yeah,
So you literally did it yourself then, like with these challenges, did that inspire you to do it yourself? Do you employ
yeah.
people
So
now?
obviously, I went back to him and I was like, "Hello, you've made a mistake. Like, can we fix this?"
Yeah.
And he was more than happy to help, but it did take a while. Um, but it did inspire me to know that I have to know how to do it myself. Because
Yeah.
if I don't know what I'm doing, and he's say I've employed somebody to do it, and I'm pretty sure people aren't like this, and they haven't done it properly, I'm not aware.
Yeah.
How would I know that the job's been done great? If it looks great, fantastic. But there's so much sort of like goes on behind in the background that I would have no idea about. I needed to educate myself on all of this IT stuff that I'm not good at. So
Yeah.
like SEOs, backlinks, all of this stuff. And to me, it's like it was a completely different language, and I feel like I've had to do a lot of background research into that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
purely because, to be really honest, I haven't got a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
I
forced
haven't
to do
got
it.
like a fancy assistant that I can put loads of work to, and the stuff that I don't want to do, I have to do
Yeah.
it all.
Was that the sort of pinnacle moment then? So you got made redundant, and then was that like, right, I need to do something now? Or was that like, oh, it's time to do my dream? Like what moment was that when you decided? What did it feel like for you?
If I'm completely honest, I was actually in the middle of straightening my hair because
Oh,
I was literally I was straightening my hair because I needed to go to Holland and Barrett and pick up my collagen. And I
oh,
was like, oh, it's so annoying. I have to go there because I had to, because that one that the Holland and Barrett that's actually near me is quite a small store and they don't do bone broth. So I was like, oh, I have to go there to then, and then I'm going to go to Waitrose and go and get my bone broth. And I was actually really annoyed that I had to go to two different stores. And
yeah,
I was
that's
just like,
hard.
it would be really great if, like, as in somewhere just done everything and I wouldn't have to stress about it. And then I was just like, oh my God, like, but why am I not doing this?
Wow.
And I literally went downstairs and told my husband, I'm going to get my collagen, but I'm just thinking I might just start my own store where I just do all of this stuff. And he just looked at me like, yeah, whatever. And then we had a conversation when I came back.
Yeah, no, I'm serious now. Oh, wow, that's incredible. Just something like that. You think, you would go into panic mode after being made redundant, but for you, it was an
Oh, I was.
inspiration.
I was absolutely devastated when I was
You
made
were,
redundant.
yeah.
Although I didn't love accounting, I genuinely loved the company that I worked for. They were so supportive of women coming back to work. They were so flexible. I literally only went to the office whenever I wanted to be really honest with you. They trusted, I'd been at the company for 5 years, so I think they trusted me enough
Yeah.
to know that I was doing my job, so I wasn't like ever micromanaged. So for me, it would have been really hard to find another job where I'm respected, left to my own devices,
Yeah.
and really trusted. And which is why I think I did have a breakdown because I was like, I'm going to have to prove myself all over again if I find another job. And I
Yeah.
just did not want to do that. And I think that was, I literally, like, I think I cried for like 2 days
Oh, wow. Okay. And
because,
then you,
because I was like, this is all I've known.
yeah. And
Yeah.
how did you pull yourself out of that? Like, what did you do?
Yeah, to be really honest with you, I did half-heartedly apply for apply for other jobs, and I just genuinely did think that if it's meant to be, it'll be. And then I thought, oh, I'm going to jump on the bandwagon with my husband's business, because his business is getting a lot busier and he employs part-time staff. And then I was like, oh my God, this would be really great if I worked for you part-time and then I could be at home with the kids.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, like it would work. And then I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned before, I was trained as a makeup artist in my previous
Okay.
maternity leave.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, and I can do that on the side and I can work for you. Like, I don't really need like a full-time job. I can like ramp up both and I can just basically like freelance like as a makeup artist and I can help you out and that should be like enough income.
Yeah.
And then the reality was that my husband's in the wedding industry. Most makeup artists work weekends, evenings, and during school holidays because that's when weddings are the most busiest time of the year. And I have 2 young kids. And then when they go to school, when they're on holidays, I'll have the busiest time. When on the weekends, I'll be always so busy. And it's fine if my husband's busy because at least one of us is at home. But if we're both busy, then I don't have no time with my kids. And it just did not align.
And tell me more about your husband's business, because did that start with you?
Yeah, so actually it started with his sister years ago when we got married. So as a South Asian, we have like loads of pre-wedding events before our wedding, and they just wanted like some floor mats and cushions for one of their pre-wedding events, and no decor company would give it to them. They just wanted to do elaborate setups that cost like thousands of pounds, and they didn't want anything that fancy. Anyway, so my sister-in-law was like, okay, obviously there's a niche in the market, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do floor mats and cushions, really simple, really small. People can come and collect it, pick it up, drop it off, like do whatever, and it won't cost an arm and a leg. Perfect. The reality is that she's quite busy, her husband's busy, and she's actually not at home for people to come and collect and drop this stuff off.
Oh, wow.
So she couldn't be bothered with it. She set it up, she bought a couple of bits and pieces, and she couldn't be asked. Anyway, that's how it happened. All weddings got cancelled, literally. So no one could have anything. So my sister-in-law gave the props to my mother-in-law and was like, you know what, you don't work, like you're not busy, like it might give you a little bit of something to do, a little bit of income on the side, you know, so you have it. But I was on maternity leave when the lockdown rules started lifting, and then her old contacts were contacting her like, oh, do you still have this stuff? And she was like, oh, she passed my number on, and she was like, do you want to deal with it while you're on mat leave? I was like, okay, fine. And then slowly this like tiny business of like just hiring out like mats and cushions turned into, do you do backdrops and do you do this? And I was like on maternity leave, and I was like, oh, we don't really do backdrops, because I didn't want to make it anything bigger than a side hustle, to be really honest with you, because I was going to go back to work. I was going to be an accountant. I love my job. It was never an option for me to turn this into a full-time business. And then more people started asking for backdrops, and then they started asking for centerpieces and like bits and pieces, and then it just added on and the ball started rolling, and I went back to work. And then my husband would then start, like, between me and him, we would like juggle it, or he would go like really early in the morning to go and drop some bits and pieces off to people's houses. And then it got to a point where he was turning down more business than we were getting.
Wow.
He absolutely hated his job anyway. So
what did he do?
He worked in sales.
No, okay, yeah, say no more.
And then before you know it, like literally, we was just like, oh, like we think he's gonna quit his job to pursue this full time.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden, no, it wasn't all of a sudden, I take that back. Literally, so I say 2021, I started doing it as like a side hustle quite slowly. And then Feb 2022, I think, he took it full time, because I went back to work at the end of 21. And then, and now like he's doing full-on wedding receptions and everything this year.
Goodness me, that's
like,
incredible.
from that like small tiny idea, like now he's doing like full-on wedding receptions and
wow,
like parties, engagement parties and things like that.
That's amazing. Would you say you've learned a lot from that experience to take forwards to your now business that you're running?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. Customer service wise, obviously as an accountant you don't really deal with customers. So definitely customer service, even just how to approach, like to sell yourself and to upsell.
Yeah.
Because people might think that they want this, but then really I'm like, to sell the whole idea or something. So like with the natural supermarket, you might just want some healthy snacks and everything, but people want the idea of a much healthier lifestyle. Then you
That's
can
it.
add this, do you see what I mean? And
Yeah.
it isn't just like snacks then it is like, are you
Yeah.
taking the correct supplements? Are you having collagen? Are you doing this? Like there is always like as in a bit more that you can do, and I think that kind of started with the whole wedding industry for us, if I'm completely honest.
Wow. It sounds like it's been a journey for you guys this past couple of years.
Yeah, when I say like no year has been the same for the last 5 years, quite literally no year has been the same.
Yeah, yeah, I can feel that. How do you find balancing your business life? Because both of you obviously have businesses now with
Yeah,
motherhood. How do you find that?
I'm still trying to find the balance, if I'm completely honest.
Yeah.
But I am really lucky, I have to say, that we have such a big support network. Like my sister lives down the road, my in-laws are so helpful, my mum is helpful. There is also on the weekends, if we are both busy, because some weekends I will have to go out to work with him. Like his job is so big that he
Yeah.
needs like 2 or 3 people to help him,
Wow.
which is actually this weekend. My mum is going to take my daughter to her swimming lesson. My in-laws will look after my youngest. Like, so we will be able to juggle, and that really does help. Like, you know, when they say it takes a village to raise a child, like it
Yeah.
literally does take a village. I don't think I would be able to do it without them.
Yeah, definitely. I totally relate to that. Like you need that village mentality.
Yeah.
So how would you suggest getting that? Like what would you say to women who need that support around them? Like how did you find that? Was it just there for you or
It is, but also I think, if I'm completely honest, it's really hard. I feel like as a mum to let go and to ask for that help.
yes.
Like I feel like, well, personally, from personal experience, I feel like you don't feel like you're doing enough, and your priorities should be with your children when really like you can't be with your kids 24/7, like 24/7, 7 days a week. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but the reality is, like most women do have to earn a living, and if you don't want to earn a living, which is absolutely fine, you still need that break. Whether
Yeah.
it is you go to the gym, whether it is that you like do painting, like go for a long walk, you still need that respite from your kids in order to be a great mum. For me, I genuinely love doing what I'm doing right now, so this kind of is my break and this is my fun,
Yeah.
if that
Yeah.
makes sense. So I feel like when I am with them, I am way more fun than if I
Oh
was with
wow.
them, than if I was with them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
So I think it is just a matter of just reaching out and asking for the help and not feeling like you're a bad mum.
I think that's what a lot of mums find really tricky is asking for help.
Yeah, and I feel
Yeah.
like you'll be so surprised how many people are really willing to help you because they genuinely also want to spend time with your kids.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
They
exactly.
do. They love spending time. Like my mum, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, my sisters. Like they genuinely love spending time with my kids. So asking them to help me is not actually me making them go out of their way for me because they
No.
would want to spend time with them regardless.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. Yeah. I think when you frame it like that, and also from the perspective of like, it's good for your children to be around other people.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, that's another perspective, isn't it? I think a lot of mums, I mean, from my own experience, I definitely found it really hard to ask for help. Did you
yeah.
find that at first when you first became, you just had your first child? Did you find that really hard to ask for help at first?
Yeah, I think to be really honest, I think for me, I really struggled with being a first-time mum anyway. I think because I had Amara at the end of 2020, so lockdown had happened. I'd spent the whole year like in this whole bubble, stuck at home. Previous to that, I was out all the time. I like socialised all the time. Um, so my life went from like one extreme all the way to another, and I think that on its own I completely struggled with. And then being a mum and a full-time carer, I think that I just struggled with in general. And then, if I'm completely honest, that's why I kind of like used the whole events company to kind of like escape from it.
Yeah,
because it gave me that sort of, I get to be out of the house, I get to be like my own person, I get to be able to earn my own money again.
Yeah.
So I felt like I kind of really, I loved it, if I'm going to be really honest with you. And I think I felt really bad for loving it, and that made me feel like there was something wrong for me wanting that independence.
Isn't that a big thing? Like mum guilt. That is a big
Yeah, like
thing.
I felt so bad not
Yeah.
having fun, and my
Oh,
son was literally just driving for half an hour down the road to drop a few mats and cushions off to someone's house and half an hour back. So it's
gosh.
only like an hour of my day, but genuinely I would stop off and get a coffee on the way there. Like I would
Yeah.
literally choose it as an outing, and like I would literally have the best time. And then I feel so bad that I had such a great time.
It's terrible, isn't it? I think no matter what you do as a mother, there's always something to sort of feel that mum guilt about. Like, do you have any tips of how you can kind of get over that? Can you ever get over it?
I think if there's somebody does have some tips, they need to give it to me. I feel bad all the time, and I feel like I'm quite a strict mum. Like I do shout, and like I try to gentle parent as much as I can, but sometimes I do lose it. But then I do sit there in the evening and think, oh my God, I'm so mean. Like I was like, I didn't need to be that mean. And then I'm like, no, but she really didn't need to do that. And I have this conversation with myself all the time, and I sit there and I beat myself up about a lot of things. And but then I do realise that every other mum does it too.
Yeah.
So I'm not alone.
You're literally not alone. Like, seriously, I think it just comes with the territory, doesn't it, of these little lovely humans who rely on us to do everything for them. It's just in our DNA to just feel bad. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, my mum always says to me, "You'll realise when you become a mum." That was like her favourite line to me.
That doesn't help, does it? Because you
No,
just
does
can't
it?
realise.
It does not at all. But that
Yeah.
like that saying is like now etched in my memory.
Yeah, that's it. I think unless you're a mother, yeah, I don't know how one could understand, but do you have any morning routines or any evening routines that you do every day? Like, do you wake up at 5 or, what do you do?
I have actually in the last 2 years, so 2 years ago, I have started journaling. I journal every night now before bed. I don't sleep well if I don't. That is something that I just have to do. I feel like it's a way for me to process all of my emotions, but also practice gratitude every night. So in my journal, I could write about my day or whatever, and then I
Yeah.
practice like write like 10 things that I'm grateful for. And I think it's really helped me frame my mind, and it helps me now to reframe any situation. Like, for example, I could have been devastated, and I did have a cry about it that I was made redundant, but
Oh,
very
yeah.
quickly I turned it into, okay, this is an opportunity. And I don't think I would have that if I didn't journal and practice gratitude every night before bed. Those are two things that I have to do without fail. When I wake up, I actually try to wake up around 5:30, 6 o'clock,
Yeah.
um, purely because I have to get a workout in. I do Pilates almost every day in the morning before the girls wake up.
Do you do it at home?
Yes, I
Is there a
do.
favourite channel that you do or app?
Worked by Bryony.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Literally, I'm obsessed with it. I've been doing her app now for well over a year. And yeah, I'm not changing to anybody else, to be really honest. Yeah, I absolutely love it. I try to do it every morning before the girls wake up, but now it's winter. I'm not going to lie. I've been snoozing until about 6:30.
Oh, what a lion.
So cold and dark outside. But
Oh,
but the girls now, because it's dark and cold and dark outside, the girls don't tend to wake up till 8. So although I
good.
wake up later, they wake up later. So it hasn't affected my morning routine too much.
It works well.
Yeah. So I am trying to push it now back to like the 6 a.m. mark, and then maybe in like a month or so push it back to 5:30. But I have to have like an hour to myself in the morning to do a workout. I plan my day. On a Sunday, I will plan my whole week.
Oh, well.
Because I have to be organised and I need to know, like, for example, what bookings my husband has, when he's going to be home, when he's not going to be home. Then he's very hands-on with the kids, so like, is he going to make dinner, am I going to make dinner, like that's why, because he doesn't have a 9 to 5 job, I can't guarantee him being at home in the evening, and I can't guarantee him being at home on the weekends.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like I need to really plan my week to be like, okay, I'm going to make dinner this day. He's at home one evening this week. Okay, he can make dinner and that day, and I'll do the rest. Like, so we have to kind of plan.
Yeah.
between us. So yeah, a Sunday I have to like plan out, these are my things to do. The girls go to nursery 3 days a week. That's my day to actually smash up my work, like my actual job.
Wow. So do you have to time slot during those days that you get without your kids to
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Down to a T, like down to the hourly, like,
Oh, wow.
yeah. Um, it's, yeah, a bit anal. I try really hard to stick to it, like I really do try hard. Facts are sometimes like things pop up and then things get pushed back. But if things get pushed back, then I have to work in the evening. Once
So
I get
it's
home.
non-negotiable. You still have to get it done.
Yeah, like some things I'll just, okay, I'll fob it off if it's not like
Yeah.
that important. Like I'm not going to work till 11 o'clock at night just because I really desperately want to pay an invoice.
Gotta get
The
this
next
done.
morning. But 9 out of 10 times, if I haven't finished what I need to do by the time the girls come back home from nursery, once they go to bed, I will finish that before I wind down. Because I think I really wanted flexibility with my job, and I'm so lucky to have it. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that I only get to work 15 hours a day.
Yeah.
I still need to work probably more. I work more now, more hours than I did as an accountant. But the privilege for me is that I don't have to work until from 9 a.m. till 7 p.m. I can work until 4, but then my extra hours have to be made up once the girls go to sleep. And that's how I manage to squeeze everything in.
Wow. So really, there's no, there's no set time period that you're working,
Oh,
but then
no.
it's got beautiful flexibility to it.
Yeah, definitely. Like, for example, Fridays are normally my non-negotiables. Me and my sister doesn't work on a Friday, and she has a son. Our kids go to nursery together. It's absolutely lovely. So on a Friday is normally my non-negotiable. We take our kids out together and we like try to make memories. We go to like a museum, like the park. It could be like, you can even just go for a coffee. Like it's something just to do
Yeah.
together. And those Fridays I will do my bare minimum. Like I will only respond back to emails. I will like probably post the bare minimum on social media. I will pay any urgent invoices that cannot wait until Monday. I will do
Yeah.
anything like here's the bare minimum, because those Fridays are literally just for my kids.
Oh, that's lovely. Do you give yourself a full day off? Would you say Friday's the only day, or do you have a weekend or?
I only if I have plans in advance. If I'm being really honest with you,
Yeah.
I won't sit there and be like, okay, today, you know what, I'm just taking the day off. I can't do that. I don't think I have. I don't think I have that in me. If I'm being really honest with you, I don't think I have that in me.
Do you think
But
you're a
like,
workaholic?
I don't know. Is that what a workaholic is?
Don't know.
Like,
Maybe.
we had like a great. I had like went out for a lovely bottomless brunch in the summer, and I literally like ruled out the entire day. I was like, that was planned
Wow.
like 2 months in advance. So then I
Yeah.
know that is my day off. I need to get so much done in the week before that, so I can have that whole day off. So I don't like. Is it if I know I'm having a day off, I will genuinely just probably have to cram everything else in.
Wow.
Like when you're at work. I remember when obviously I used to work 9 to 5. If you're going on annual leave, and you have to like wrap everything up before you go on annual leave for the day, for the week, or you're going on holiday. It's kind of like that. I've just tried to wrap everything up so that when I take this one day off, nothing falls apart.
And you can relax, like,
Yeah, and I don't have to worry. That's more.
Yeah.
That's more why it is.
So you think for anyone who sort of is starting a business or new to business, do you think that it has to be this immense amount of graft and you have to be willing to really put a lot of time into it to make it work?
Yes, 100%. But I also, my personal opinion is, it depends what you want. I think if you really want the flexibility, then you have to be prepared to work at night. If you want a whole 9 to 5 job and you want to have like your weekends and evenings free, then then you have to work crazy hard within those few hours.
Yeah.
So I think it is what you personally want. Like for me, flexibility was massive. So I've got the flexibility, but I'm also like just doing as and what I can, if that makes sense. But then if I didn't have kids, I probably wouldn't need the flexibility, but I would probably be working 9 till 9.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. What kind of what sacrifices have you made to make this work as a mother with business?
I think I've sacrificed time with my kids, definitely. Even just this weekend, I don't work a lot in the weekends because my husband's business by nature, he works a lot on weekends. Weddings and stuff are normally on the weekends, so I tend to have the kids. And I absolutely love it. But this weekend, I was swamped. I was so busy, and obviously it's January, so like he was a lot quieter anyway.
Yeah.
So he had the girls, and he had so much fun with them, and I had FOMO. I'm
Oh.
and I can hear them giggling away downstairs. They're all having loads of fun with daddy, and there's me. For me as a mum and as a working mum and a woman in business, my biggest sacrifice is the time with my kids.
Yeah. How old are your kids?
4 and 2.
Oh, both girls.
Yeah, both going on to 21.
Oh, yeah. That's it. Well, so who has been your biggest inspiration and motivation in your life? It could be like one person or multiple. Is there anyone that sort of you look up to or stood out to you?
I have to say, it is my mum. If she ever watches this, she's probably going to be so chuffed.
Oh.
Yeah, like she's been a single parent her whole life, and she actually worked in a bank for probably over 30 odd years, and she followed her dream and opened up her own beauty salon.
Wow.
When she was probably like in her 50s. So she literally followed her dream and she followed her passion, and she worked so hard to literally achieve her dream, as well as raising me and my sister, that if she can do it, anyone can. And I think genuinely, I think that is what's driven me, that if she can do it in her 50s, open a salon, there's no reason why I can't.
Yeah. I think in our society, there's a big thing on, or a big stigma on like, oh, I'm too old to do that.
Yes, definitely. For her, she also had other priorities. She wanted to raise us. She wanted to get like obviously give us everything, like so. For her, there was very little in the pot left for her own whatever she wanted to do. So she waited for us to get older, try and like basically like do our own thing, that we didn't really need her anymore, and then she could do her own thing because financially, we didn't need her.
Yeah.
So she didn't have to feel like she was being, what's that word? Not irrational.
Unresponsible or?
Almost selfish.
Yeah.
She's going to chuck her career down the drain to follow her own dreams. She wasn't doing that because we didn't rely on her anymore.
Yeah.
So I think for her it was the perfect timing.
Oh, that's just beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I think what an inspirational woman your mother is.
Thank you.
Wow. And to change and just follow your dream at 50, that's pretty mega, you know.
Yeah, like she was like studying all of the courses and everything like that for years. She would like do treatments on like family and friends, and she'd even go to like care homes in the evenings and
Wow.
like do manicures and pedicures on like the elderly lady. She'd like a massively discounted rate because she was doing something so
Bless
nice
her.
for them, but also at the same time she would get the chance to practice as well. Like she would, but that was on top of her full-time job. So she put in the hard graft for like so long, and then she finally got to the stage where she was like, okay, I can actually do this. There's like, if she can do it, to be really honest, anyone can. If you put your mind to it and you're so passionate about it, you really can do it.
Wow. I want to give her like a clap. Well done, Mum. Do you ever feel like, did you ever have imposter syndrome when you first started?
Yes, I still have it now.
Really?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's something that I'm really trying to work on. But you can't help it. Like for me, I'm just like an average Joe type of person. I'll have conversations with bigger influencers, and I'm like, oh my God, they want to work with me. She responded back to my message. Like, it's crazy. And I'm like, okay, they're just a normal person.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, I'm getting nervous when I'm trying to speak to them on the phone. What if they don't like me and all this stuff? And then I do have to check myself and be like, okay, they're normal people. Like, they're not going to think that I'm like this weirdo or whatever. But yeah, I get it all the time. Literally all the time.
Wow, that's mad. You know, you think, oh, when people have, you know, they're running their own business, that you think, oh, they'd never get that anymore. So I think it's reassuring to know for all the women out there who want to start something new that it is normal.
I think people that run multi-million pound businesses still have it, if I'm completely honest.
Wow.
That's what I would like to think anyway.
Yeah.
Just because they've probably never run another multi-million pound business before.
Mm-hmm.
So my opinion is that everyone suffers from imposter syndrome. It's just about whether you look like you do or not.
How would you overcome that? Because you can get stuck, can't you? Like, imposter syndrome can kind of like freeze you, and then you freak out and nothing gets done. How do you take action? How do you get over it or work through it?
I'm still trying to be really honest with you, so I don't feel like I have all the answers. But someone says, like, fake it till you make it, or something like that.
Yeah, that is
Literally, I think if you can act like you have it all together, I think you will start to believe that you actually do have it all together. It's like that visualization. Meditation is one of the things that I do every morning as well. Visualization. I think if you visualize yourself, I don't know, for an example, like on a stage, I don't know, if you want to do public speaking all the time, you will convince yourself over time that this is something that you are good at and this is something that you're doing, like you can articulate yourself well, etc. I think when it comes down to actually doing it, you won't be so overwhelmed by the whole thing, because in your head you've done it so many times.
Yeah, I think that's such a powerful tool, the power of
Yeah.
visualization. There was that study, wasn't there, on basketball players, and one group physically practiced for, I think it was like a week or a certain amount of time, and then another group visualized practicing, and they were, when they came to play, they were, you know, equal pegging. Yeah.
I think it is so powerful, and I think it's really underrated. I feel more people are talking about it now.
Yeah.
But I do feel like it is very underrated.
Yeah, I think it's a thing, it's a tool that, you know, you need to kind of tap into, isn't it? Is that something that you've used along your way in your businesses, like visualizing them happen, or used a vision board or anything?
Yes, so I have done a vision board for the last 3 years, but this year is the first time I've done like proper pictures, sticking it down, done like a whole evening, lighted candles, and like done it all like that. This is the first year I've done that. Normally it's like a piece of paper, and I've just like separated into like family, relationships, business, blah blah blah, and I've just like written things down. This year I kind of wanted to make it a little bit prettier and everything. But yeah, I had some things on my vision board last year. Some of it came true, some of it didn't. Again, for me, I'm like, I kind of prefer the journey. I feel like a few years ago I learned it's not about the destination, it's about the journey.
Yeah.
And I genuinely feel like if you're having so much fun in the journey, it doesn't matter about the destination. Like, it really doesn't. Yeah, and I think I said that to my husband when my business first started out. I was like, I know we're broke and I'm not like bringing in income or anything, but this is so much fun. I was like, this is the most fun I've had in years. Like, I am so happy right now. And he was literally like, yeah, I can tell.
Wow.
I was like, this is the most broke I've ever been. I've never not had an income. And obviously the business had just launched, so it's not like a full-time income at all, like nowhere even near it. But I was like, this is what I want to do. I was like, this is so much fun. I'm having the best time of my life, like literally having the best time of my life.
Wow.
And I feel like that is something that I visualise, like not having like I'd never visualised having like my own business last year. It was literally not on the cards at all.
So have you just started this business then? Is this new? Wow, incredible.
So last year's vision board, this business was not on my vision board at all.
Wow.
But flexibility with my children was. Having a great relationship with my husband was. So all of these things were on my vision board. But like, I don't feel like that's a destination. Like, that is a part of the journey, right? So I feel like I didn't visualize specific things like that, but I visualized spending more time with my kids, and I do now spend more time with my kids. I visualized, I had those things on my vision board, and those did come true.
Incredible.
Yeah. So So I think it was, I think it's more about the journey, like how you want to feel rather than what, like materialistic things, for me anyway.
Yeah. On your journey, is there any big points that stand out to you that either something went really wrong and you were like, oh, or, you know, and how did you overcome that and how did you move on from it?
Yeah, I've had like a few moments where I've been like, I don't think I can do this anymore. And I think for every entrepreneur, I think you do have those moments. And I think it was when I sat there and I really thought, like, obviously at the earlier stages when the business didn't take off as quickly as what I would hope it does. I was like, I don't think I can do this. I was like, as in, this isn't bringing any money. Like, we need a second income. And I was like, I'm going to have to look for another job. I was like, this is the reality is, this is all really great and I get to have this flexibility and everything. But if I'm not bringing in any money, then what is the point? Like, I am literally working for free. And I was devastated at that thought. And my husband was like, no, we've got to give it a bit more time. Like, you knew that it was going to take about a year for it to kick off and blah, 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 and this stuff. But the facts are mortgages need to be paid, bills need to be paid. Like, as in, I have kids. If you don't have kids, then obviously you have less financial responsibility. They need clothes, they need food, they need to go to clubs, they have nursery fees, which is like a mortgage on its own.
Yes.
So, you know, I was like, I can't live off thin air. And to be honest, I'm not going to lie, I think the thought of me going back to work, which I didn't want to do, really gave me a kick up the arse. I ramped everything up. I literally went all guns blazing. I was like, I had nothing more to lose now. That's when I was like, okay, I am pushing up myself, I'm ramping up my social media. I don't care if I'm being annoying and I'm posting like 400 things on the same day. Like that is it. I'm going to reach out to these influencers who I think are like so incredible and don't actually know me. I'm going to reach out to them. I reached out to, like, I'm going to go to all of these wellbeing events. I'm going to pitch to have a stall there. I want to be at the forefront. It was kind of, it was that push and that hitting rock bottom almost that made me realise, okay, if I have to give this my everything before I give this up. And I think that push kind of got things speeding along.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Thanks.
I feel like, you know, you can feel your passion and fire. Like,
oh, thank you.
yeah, it's amazing. Okay, so we don't have that long left, so I'm going to do some quick fire questions now to sort of round it off. But incredible, wow. Okay, so the first one is, do you have any rituals that you do daily?
Yes, so morning meditation, workout, and like plan my day, like a bit more. And then evening is always journaling and gratitude. I'm trying to add in reading, but yeah.
Oh, reading. What kind of books would you read? Fiction or non-fiction or?
Oh, I love like business and manifestation and like habits. I'm currently reading what's its name? Stephen Bartlett's book, Happy Sexy Millionaire.
Oh, okay, I haven't heard of that one. Happy Sexy Millionaire. Ooh, I want to be that, please. Give it to me.
I to visualize that.
Yeah. Okay, next one. Describe what wellness means to you.
Peace.
Peace.
It means peace. It means having literally just peace in your life. And I think, yeah, I think that is that for me. Ultimately, it's peace.
Yeah, I mean that's something that is taken for granted in this day and age of distractions and
100%. It's just like for me, like that gratitude and the journaling at night. It gives me peace, and that for me, like, and it's a form of wellness, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Definitely. And okay, so we've got two more quick questions left. So what kind of message, is there a message you'd like to send to all our listeners, all the mums out there in the world, if they are desperate to chase their goals and their dreams, but they really don't know what to do? What would be your one big advice or, you know, top tips?
Honestly, you can have it all. You can have a thriving business and have a great time with your kids, but you can't have it all at once. And be prepared to not have it all at once. You will miss out on some days with your kids, but then you will also have other great memories with your kids. You will smash work for like 2 or 3 days, but you might not be that present with your children. But then for the other 4, you'll have like incredible time with your kids, and you will put your business to one side. You can have it all on a weekly and monthly, yearly basis, but you can't have it all in one day.
Yeah.
And I think if you have to be prepared for that.
Yeah. I think that's something that it is about the sacrifice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
And I don't think you have to see it as a sacrifice. I think
Mm-hmm.
for a mum that's in business, you can see it as, okay, I'm going to be super present with my kids today, and I'm prepared to only put 2 hours of work in, which is fine. And you have to be really accepting of that. Or you can be like, I'm going to spend the whole day working today so that I can spend 2 hours with my kids this evening. And I think it is a matter of accepting the fact that you can have, like, you're doing this for your children. Everyone ultimately does what they do for their kids.
Yeah.
So just be prepared to you can have it all, but you just can't have it all in that one day.
Yeah.
And I think if
Like
you're
that.
prepared for that, then that's fine, because if you aren't prepared for it, then you're going to be overwhelmed, and the chances of giving up are going to be so much higher.
That's it. I think overwhelm is one of the things that comes into it, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And everyone gets overwhelmed sometimes. I still get overwhelmed all the time. But then it's a matter of, okay, taking a step back and being like, okay, what am I actually going to achieve today, and what am I going to put back for tomorrow? Like, put everything into a bit more perspective. No one's going to die if I don't pay this invoice, like, literally.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? No
Yeah.
one's going to die if I don't respond back to their emails. It's that, like, my child doesn't have a breakdown and, like, is in, gets to play Play-Doh with me for half an hour. Like, to me, like, that is, I can't have her screaming in my ear, so I would much rather just have play Play-Doh with her. Do you see what I mean? You kind of have to sometimes think, like, which one is going to give you more peace at the time. Like,
Yeah.
Play-Doh.
It's a tricky balance, isn't it? And where can people find you?
So our website is called thenaturalsupermarket.com, and on all social media, Instagram, we're The Natural Supermarket, Facebook, Natural Supermarket, and TikTok.
Oh, brilliant. I'm going to link that in the show notes as well, so
Thank
everyone
you
can click
so
the
much.
link. Oh, brilliant. Well, thank you for today. It's been lovely.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I've actually had a really great time.
It's been so nice. And we'll see you all for the next episode.